concerned that what you're doing is fueling a narrative which is not supposed to be a narrative of religious genocide.
Yeah. I guess the question I would ask is, if there's no genocide, if there's no religion involved, what is the reasoning? I've been told it's grazing. They're just looking for grass for their cows. And I would ask the question, if it's only for grass, then this means that their own Fulani brothers who are also herding cattle and looking for grass, they're also their competitors. And so why are they only killing Christians? Why are they only targeting Christian villages? They're not killing their own people. They're not burning their own Fulani settlements, but they're competitors. The same grass they're fighting for. And so what's the answer to this? Why are they only killing the Christians in the Christian villages?
Have you been to the camp of the dispersed people?
Yes, I have.
And what did you see?
Yeah, I was in international market where a lot of the Yowata people have been displaced to. And from the testimonies from the people, they have little food, little water. I saw them publicly defecating, pooping, and peeing there in the street among the little shops and the little stores. I was in Guer West, the heart of displacement. 90% of people in Guer West have been abandoning their homes, displaced. And many of them are living in Agagbe, in little grass huts. They said that they receive food maybe every 3 or 4 months from the government. They have nothing. They've been forced off of their lands and nobody's fighting back. They've accepted this to be displaced.
Is your humanitarian service targeted at only Christians? Because
No.
that's what a lot of people.
Yeah. The heart of why I'm here is Christ. It is because I am a Christian. I'm a follower of Christ. I've been called to make disciples of all nations, to share the gospel to every tribe, every tongue, every nation. But where we build, the people we help many Muslims. In fact, we built a school in Kano. We built churches. We're building schools in Bauchi. We're building ongoing in Kebbi. We have plans in Taraba, Adamawa. We have plans everywhere. And so we literally built a school for primarily Muslim people in Kano, in the rural area. And these Muslims are benefiting because there was no education. There was an Islamic school to teach Islam, but no school to teach people how to read, how to write, how to do math. They weren't caring for them. And so we went in to be able to care for those people, Muslims, Fulani.
In an Islamic school,
Yeah.
to teach them, because you felt that they were not learning how to read and write?
No, there was no active school in that area.
Okay.
No school at all. We built the first school.
You were part of, or you attended the funeral ceremonies of the Sling community. So
Yes.
tell us what you saw.
Yeah, I was actually on my way traveling to Benue to be able to continue the rebuilding of Yowata village. And I received a notice that there was a killing. The 7 Christians were killed in Kuru on the way that we were leaving. And I said, I have to go. We have to be alongside the people who are suffering and are afflicted. And when I pulled into Kuru, we went to the mortuary. They hadn't begun the funeral, nothing yet. And the DPO refused me to access the mortuary. He said there is nothing to report, that there was not an attack.
Who refused you to access?
The DPO, the local DPO of Kuru. He refused our entry. He said there wasn't an attack, that there was a mining accident. And he said there's nothing to report here, so we were held up. And so we talked to Ezekiel Dakomo. He was already on his way. We already were talking with him. And we talked to the local leaders, the youth leader, everybody. They came to my rescue. They said, no, he's entering. And so I went in. And what did I see? Bullet wounds. Blood was still literally being pulled out. It was splattering. The bullet holes in his head, in his stomach. Blood was coming out. I have videos of this. If you want videos, I have videos. I have pictures. The proof that there was an attack. They were not just an accident. It didn't collapse. They were murdered in cold blood by Fulani.
You're very definite when you use the word that they were murdered.
Yes.
Is it because of the bullets you saw, the type of injuries you saw on the bodies? That's what's giving you this evidence that they are murdered? Or you have eyewitness reports?
This is what they reported. There was no accident. What do bullet holes generally tell? Who killed them? Because they don't have the AK-47s. They didn't shoot themselves. 7 of them.
Tell us about Reverend Ezekiel Dakomo.
Yeah, I think he's an incredible man. He's been the most prominent voice for the afflicted, for the persecuted, the Christians who are being killed. And he's even been speaking about the Muslims who also have been killed in Zamfara, Katsina, in Borno, and Yobe. There was a mosque that was blown up by ISWAP. And so both of us together, we don't deny that Muslims are being killed. They are being killed. But the point that we want to make is that disproportionately Christians are being targeted and murdered specifically across the Middle Belt, in Kaduna, in Plateau, in Bauchi, in Niger, Adamawa, Taraba. And so we both are bringing light to this issue, and that's what we need to tend to.
Alex, before we let you go, one word you would have for the government and for the people, what would that be?
It's a tough question. The government is responsible for its people. And for 2 decades, they've allowed their own to be slaughtered, including Muslims. Killed, burned, slaughtered like sheep, burned like charcoal. I've seen the bodies, even little babies that are just lumps of charcoal sitting on the floor. I've seen bones in the rubble. I've held the bones. They are allowing this for 2 decades. And so the Nigerian government needs to be accountable. They need to tell the truth. And they need to protect their own people. That's what we're calling for. I can't control the government. I'm not a politician. I don't deal with politics. I'm a missionary. I tell of Christ. I speak of Christ. I share the gospel. I teach that it is Christ who saves, that he is the way, the truth, and the life. And if I'm to be a Christian, that means I'm to tell the truth. If I'm to be a Christian, I am to hold people accountable. If I'm to be a Christian, I am to speak for justice, to speak for the ones who don't have a voice. And so the Nigerian government needs to be accountable. They need to protect their people.
Thank you so much. We've been speaking with Alexander Barbir, who's a missionary who's been in Benue State and building, or rather rebuilding and helping to the people of Yelwata to return to their homes after they had been displaced. Well, thank you once again.
Thank you so much. Pleasure.
We'll take a moment and we'll come back.